Hello everyone and welcome back to On Point HQ and another kit bashing video. I know I enjoy kit bashing, so I thought I'd do another kit bashing video. Now what have I been up to? What have I been kit bashing recently? Now what I've been working on recently has been largely inspired by two different things. Now I'll briefly run over each of these things. The first was that I've recently finished reading this. This is Das Reich by Max Hastings. And it's all about the journey of the 2nd SS Panzer Division on its way to Normandy after D-Day, and how it was harried and harassed by the Maquis and various other French resistance forces. The second reason for my kit bashing is a comment left on my last kit bashing video, where I was asked about converting or kit bashing partisans. Now it's not something I've ever really thought about, but it really got my interest precisely because I've never tried it before, and I do like to try new things when it comes to kit bashing. So I set to this week and thought, right, how can I kit bash partisans or resistance from what I've got. Now the biggest challenge is primarily working with plastic figures in military uniforms and trying to kind of less military them, if that even makes sense, to make them less military looking, to make them a bit more civilian looking, but also have that element of sort of the ragtag, the military look. So what I'm going to do is just show you what I've been working on. I've only been working on 5 resistance, 2 SAS, and these are very much work in progress. They're quite rough and quite rough around the edges. The more concept pieces than anything. So what I don't intend to do is really concentrate on this as a project at the moment. I just wanted to see how easy it would be to make them. But I thought it'd be quite interesting to do a video to show you my progress. So what I'm going to do is just mess with the camera as I'm prone to do. First of all, though, I'm going to show you these. Now these are my Volkssturm from my late war bolt action Germans. Now why am I showing you these? Now these are essentially citizen soldiers, and again what I want to do with these guys was to try and make them sort of 90% civilian looking, but with a smattering of military equipment showing them. So as you can see, all of these have been based on the greatcoats from the plastic Winter German infantry box by Warlord Games, and then they've been given a whole host of all different arms and heads and malarkey. But they were quite they were fairly simple to do, because everyone got a great coat. What I didn't want to do though is just go down the same route with the partisans and just use great coats. I've used one, but I've tried to use other existing ranges and just kit bashed them and modified them to make them look a bit different. So they are my Volkssturm, and that was my first attempt at sort of civilian looking soldiers. So I'll start with the guy in the greatcoat, as this is one of the first pieces that I did. I think let's mess with the camera, make it a bit closer. Right. So as you can see, or you might not be able to see depending on if I can get this camera to work correctly. So that's based on the greatcoat, and what I've done is I've removed all the webbing. So all the straps have been removed. Please forgive the rather rough green stuff. That needs to be sort of sculpted into place and filed down at the moment. But what I've done is I've used the greatcoat as a base, taken away the strapping, so it just looks like a civilian coat, but he's got a belt with some ammo pouches and a pistol there. The arms are from the plastic SS set. He's got an American carbine rifle from the US Marine Corps plastic set, and his head, I went with these are more based, I mean I'm saying partisans, but I think these are going to be more based around in France, 44, 45 onwards, and from the reference photographs I looked at, there was a fair amount of berets going on. So in one of my bits boxes I had quite a few guys wearing berets from an SAS blister that I got many years ago, and all I've done is cut off the insignia on the badges. I just used to use them as berets, heads with berets on. So that was my first go, and I was like, is this going to be difficult? I don't know. So with him done, what I then did is worked on this fella. Now he is based on, his body is a plastic US Marine, and again what I've done is I've removed all of the sort of webbing, the straps, etc. So on the back it was just a case of filing and using a craft knife to very carefully cut away most of it. I mean, there's still a bit on there because I don't want to make the back look out of proportion. So it might just require a bit more filing down. But on the front, again, a bit more rough green stuff there. That's just to hide where the front straps were removed. And then what I've done is I've changed his boots as well. So I've carved off the gaiters, but then I've also built them up to look like proper boots. Used a bit of green stuff. And then the head and the weapons are just from the British Commonwealth box. Again, another head with a beret with the badge cut off. Lee Enfield rifle and a service revolver there. So I think that I was a bit happier with this one as it looked really less military looking and more sort of that quasi-military, so you'd expect to see with partisans or resistance troops. I've also put a pouch on there as well, just give me a bit more equipment on there, and just to hide that sort of American looking belt as well. But that was my second one. So the third one was this one here. So again, lying down. I didn't know whether to make him into a sniper or not, but I just went for a bog standard American rifle. So how was he made? So again, he's based on the prone body from the British Commonwealth infantry box. Now he's undergone quite a bit of radical craft knife work. So what I've done is I've removed the webbing, the pouches, so the straps on the back have been removed. I also removed the water bottle as well, and sort of used a knife to carve that away. I've also put a few ammo pouches on there as well, just to cover where the water bottle was. And then the arms, the rifle and the head are from the plastic marine box. But I just like the way that looks. I mean, it's, again, from the reference photographs of the material that I've looked at, you see a lot of these guys and women wearing shorts. So I had quite a few of these prone bodies left over from my SAS project. So I thought, why not use them? Now, again, it looks like a cross between civilian clothing, slightly military looking hat on there, and his ammo pouches. Again, it's striking that balance between military and civilian. So with him finished, it was onto this guy. This is where it gets a little bit strange. So again, he is based on a US Marine body. It was the one where the shirt was kind of open to the waist and he had dog tags. So all I've done, and you can see that, is just fill in the top of the shirt with green stuff. Again, it's a bit rough, I need to file it down. And then I've built it up around his neck like a cravat or something similar like that. So once that's painted, it will just look like a standard sort of military shirt, or a civilian shirt rather. For the arms, what I've used are two arms from the Winter German set. Again, if you're looking for civilian looking clothing, not going to mind about the cuffs on there. These guys were probably wearing a whole array of different civilian clothing if you're a partisan or a resistance fighter. Now the head is from the British and Commonwealth box. And I believe it's one of the Australians. It's got an Australian slouch, isn't it? It's a slouch hat, but it looks quite civilian. Again, in the material, people were wearing hats like this. So sort of added a feather just to make him, give him a bit of character, a bit of personality. Pop a feather on there, and he's got a cigarette in his mouth as well. So again, it just gives him a bit more character. And again, with this, I just filed down the gaiters, added a bit of green stuff to hide that as well. But again, that was the fourth one done, and the last one was again based on a US Marine body. This one's got very little in the way of webbing on it, just a belt, so there's no filing down. All I had to do really was change the boots. What you'll see there is I filed the gaiters down and then built them up with liquid green stuff, just to give the impression of normal sort of high top boots. Again, from the reference material, I've seen quite a few of the resistance fighters wearing them. The head and right arm are again from the British Commonwealth box. We've got search revolver there and a head with a beret on, and the left arm is just from the plastic grenadier box. So again, I think I'm getting there. I don't know whether I'm going to make any more for the next couple of weeks anyway. Oh, and the map case on his belt there as well, just to break up that American looking belt. But I think hopefully I'm striking the fine balance of civilian but with that sort of military slant to it. There we go. Now what I also did as well when I was going through my bits box, I found a couple of the old SAS figures that I have for an aborted British project that I started many years ago. So I'll just show you what I've done with these. So again, just added bits and pieces from the British Commonwealth infantry box. That's a guy with a nice woolly hat on. I've put a pack and some green stuff to hide the gaps. He's got a kilt on. Now he was going to be my interpretation of the very great Tommy Mcpherson. I've actually built my own, and he's in the middle of being painted, so I don't really want to show him at the minute while he's in the middle of being painted. But that will possibly be in the next video. And the second one, again, he's equipped with a German submachine gun there. I just like the way that looks. It just works really well. Originally came with metal heads on these. I just replaced them with the plastic ones. And the next one is just a Bren gunner. So again, replaced the head with one from the British Commonwealth box, added a pack, and also put the bipod on his Bren gun. So these would represent the Jedburgh SAS sections that would drop down into France before D-Day to assist the various resistance forces with military training and that kind of help. But I think they'll work quite well. Again, me working on metal miniatures. What is the world coming to? But that's it. So it's been quite enjoyable putting them together. They're a little bit different, and like I mentioned before, the hardest part is the sort of you getting rid of the military uniforms and making them a bit more civilian looking. But hopefully I'm getting there. I'm striking that fine balance. If you've got any comments or questions about these, any suggestions or advice, I'd love to hear your feedback. People know on the channel how much I enjoy kit bash, and I love to hear people's feedback about it, and also their ideas, advice, guidance, tips, etc. Anything would be absolutely fantastic. Again, any comments or questions, just leave them down below in the comments section, and I'll certainly respond to all comments and questions. You'll also find a link down there to our new Facebook group, so feel free to join the group. But as always, thanks for watching, do take care, may your dice roll well, and I'll catch you all in the next video. So bye bye for now.